Everything is connected and corrected. I didn't want to end it on here, but I needed to make sure that you all actually do get the information. So, as I'm still going live, hopefully, maybe not, on the other line of my talk, let me make sure that I can still make sure you all here. I'm not sure if they'll do that. TikTok is not that advanced where it's going to stream it like that. There we go. That's what I've been looking for this entire time. We can work like this. Oh, I can teach. Now we can get started. Yes. Let me make sure. Let me make sure. Now we can get started. We don't want anything to slow us down. We want to be able to keep it going. And we want to be able to make sure that we capture the right information for all of those who are interested in learning how to get involved in freight dispatching. Now I have, let me make sure all my social media platforms are connected. It could be a lot when you're running the show. I'm telling you, gosh, it could be a lot when you are running the show. People think it's smooth and it's pretty, but they don't see everything that you have connected behind the scenes. They don't see how you're trying to hold everything together. People don't see. They only know what they know, and that's it. So I'm gonna stop talking. I digress. We're going to get involved, get started with freight dispatching. Why? This is your freedom call. This is your freedom ticket. This is how you get out of that rat race. Everything that you're in right now, it is a rat race. And we don't want you all a part of that. So let me make sure this camera is right and my other scenes are tight because it is time to get started with this night. Stop dispatching, start operating. That's exactly what I'm here to talk about. Why? Because all of you, if you're working a job, more than likely, all of you want to be out that job. If I can get this correct, oh my goodness, it's kind of crazy how my setup is. So sorry. Everyone who is in dispatching right now, everyone who's in trucking right now, I promise you, if you don't have a system in order, I promise you, you gonna get swallowed up. Because right now we're moving from, take a look real quick, the horse carriage to the car mobiles industry, and we don't see it even though it's in live time with us right now. And I hate to say that because, man, these faceless trucks, they are rolling them out faster than you can count, I promise you. And it's sad because I'm curious for all those drivers out there right now, if you had to get out that truck tomorrow, because every load on the load board was now speaking a techno, kind of like tech jargon, what would you do? You sell your truck, but what would you do with the proceeds after you pay the truck off? What are you going to do with your time? What are you going to do with your value? How are you going to provide more value to the market? Dispatching is the foundation of logistics across the board. Let me say that again, because people don't understand how important dispatching is. People don't understand you can't call a 911 and get an actual officer. No, you're going to get transferred to the dispatcher first. You can't call a plumber. No, you're going to speak to their dispatcher first. FedEx, do you understand? I actually had a package that we missed. We couldn't even pick this package up. I was on the phone with the person. I said, hey, can you put me in tune with your dispatcher? Because the dispatcher is the only person that can actually communicate with the driver. So whether you are a broker or shipper or even a truck driver, I'm curious. Because a broker and a dispatcher, you all really do the same thing. So when the faceless trucks roll out, how are you going to make yourself relevant? How are you going to stay within this industry, this lane, and continue to provide value if we remove the driver? Guess what? Removing the driver doesn't take away the dispatcher. No, it doesn't. Removing the driver doesn't stop the show. No, it doesn't. So understand the driver is not your asset. And we're going to get into that tonight. Stop dispatching, start operating, get the tools. Don't just get the tools, get the engine. And I say that because over 6 years ago when I started my dispatching company, I signed up for a $200 course. I got the tools, but baby, I was lost without the engine. I spent numerous of nights late at night trying to figure it out, trying to see how can I eliminate not just my driver's deadhead, but my operational deadhead as a business owner. So the elephant in the room, let's go ahead, let's get this out right now. Everyone, when it comes to logistics, there's a few elephants. One, is she a scammer? Does she know what she's talking about? Numbers don't lie. Experience comes out in your talk. Scammers, no. I've been able to eradicate a few hundred companies with our business, and we were able to recover over $250,000 worth of double broker loans. So no, I'm not the scammer. I have been able to, with my legal skills and just my experience, eliminate some of the scammers in the logistics industry. Now, the market, it doesn't reward task managers. You will know who's a real dispatcher. How? They're going to talk. And when they talk, let them. When they talk, listen. Listen to what they say. Listen to how they say it. Listen to what systems. It comes down to that systems. What systems do they have in place? Anyone can teach content. Did you create a system? Every system that I've created, you cannot Google. Even my up and coming technology, you can't Google this. So most people think dispatching is just booking a load. It's not. That's the beginning of it. And I actually thought dispatching was just that. Let me book this load. Let me make sure that my driver gets to and from this place. That's it. Last, I would say 4 weeks ago, I broke out the $1 million secret to getting into dispatching. All you need are 3 things: a phone, freight, and a truck. Guess what? When they roll out, and as they're rolling out the faceless trucks, guess what you still need to dispatch? A phone, a freight, and a truck. So it doesn't matter if that driver's in a seat or not. Guess what? I'm the person who's operating and managing the entire operation, not the broker. The broker negotiates the rates. The shipper actually packages the freight. The driver, they get paid to transport the freight. The dispatcher gets paid to operate the whole system. So, GEO University, we believe that dispatching is the understanding of the operation behind the movement. This is why I can't just teach dispatching. I will do you a huge disservice, because if I did that, AI could wipe you out. But if I teach you the movement, the operation behind the system, guess what? You can now walk along the side of AI and continue to grow your business and scale your truck without being removed by technology. Now, who is this for? If my clicker wants to work tonight. Hold on. What's this? Give me 1 second. Okay. Who is this for? Everyone and their mama. I'm just playing. But seriously, it really is. It's for aspiring dispatchers. I didn't come in this thing aspiring to be a dispatcher. I did, but I was directed to this because I wanted freedom. This is for entrepreneurs. Have you spent money in the credit industry, the Amazon industry, the Canva industry, the Pinterest, every industry that I've tried it. I've worked for everything under the sun in their sales and marketing department. I've done it. I know what works and what doesn't work, and I know what systems work because I build systems. This system that I'm telling you and I'm teaching is for my truck drivers. Because why? Soon you all are going to be replaced. And I hate to see this, but not all will be replaced. 90 to 95% will be replaced. And that's why you have to become more valuable, not just because technology is involved, but you want to become evolving with technology. Remember, before we were riding horse and carriages, right? Guess what happened? Somebody was crazy enough to believe that they can make a horseless car. Then someone took it a step further. Let me get one that can do X, Y, and Z. And look what happened to society. Oh my goodness, we don't need to. How are we going to get... guess what? We all had to evolve and change, because from horses and carriages, you're now not taking a 2 hour break every time you're on that carriage or that horse. No, you're in the car, and whenever the gas runs out, you can go to the gas station and fill your tank up. Now we're moving to now those trucks are going to run without you. So what are you going to do to make yourself more valuable? You need this system. Why? Because I'm going to show you how you can go from an employee to a builder to an operator to an owner. Because one uses thinking, one uses their feet as a builder. The next one, your operator, you're using your hands because now you get to manage your business. But I want you to grow, and I want to help you to scale your business so you can grow to ownership. Why? Because now you get to delegate with your voice. See, you can't be an owner in the employee seat trying to run and move like an owner. No, there are different tasks for different stages. So this is for the stay-at-home mom. Oh my goodness. I had to engineer my own way out of the 9 to 5 rat race. And I did it through dispatching. I didn't know what dispatching was. I had no experience in dispatching. All I knew was sales. I came from sales ever since I was 9 years young. Sales, I can close anywhere. One thing I knew about sales was I know how to make a phone call, I know how to close someone, and I know how to handle paperwork properly. So those 3 skills helped me to grow my business to 6 figures, along with the additional skills and tools that I had to create to make it through, so I would not utilize so much of my time doing small tasks. So for those of you who are joining in, Cody, Goob, A7, if you all are in the logistics lane, or if you want to become a part of this industry, know that although that is changing, baby, there's still more money in here than ever, because look around, everything in your house came off of the truck. But real quick, I want y'all to think about something. Think about the last time you did something that you didn't want to do, but because you were on someone else's clock, you were forced to do. I say that because it could have been maybe staying up late for a job that drained you. It could be actually missing your kid's graduation or even a game. It could have been maybe even working to 11 or 12 o'clock to only wake up to do it the next day. I know this feeling. I live this feeling, and this feeling is what pissed me the hell off to make a change in my life. See, when I started this dispatching company, the odds were, they were against me. They were very much ignoring me. I was a new mother. I was a new wife. I actually didn't take a maternity leave because I couldn't afford to. That 12 to 9 grind, it was me with no blueprint, and I didn't even have a backup. All I knew was I could not keep doing what I was doing before. And I made a decision to get my time back. And that was the hardest decision because I didn't have the time to give. I used my anger, the determination that pissed me off to really engineer a way to get out. One thing I found out was everything's pretty much the same versus the system that you operate, no matter what business you work for. So this afternoon, I actually stood in my house and I was happy. Because after years of struggling to find the right system for me, to find the right lane where I could control my time, control my money, and then get my life back, I said, I am definitely where I once prayed for. I'm in a space of receiving my prayer. And I'm grateful because I remember that grind of not having things figured out. See, tonight is not just about logistics. It's about reclaiming your clock. It's about proving that if you can get the system right, you can actually survive the chaos. You can design your life the way you want to, the way you want it to be. So I say, come here, come with me and let's build, because that's exactly what I did. I had to design a life that worked for me and my lifestyle. See, kids don't work on that company's clock. My daughter, she was new. All I know is at time for eat that she didn't care if I was on the phone or anything. She just knew, hey, mommy, I need my bottle. And one day I was not able to reach her in time before she fell asleep. Now, the company I was working for, I was selling CRM systems. And honestly, I didn't even know what they were. But I knew how to explain them where I could sell them. So When I say this is for the stay-at-home parents, I did not take a maternity leave because I had just started the job. And I started the job in my 9th month. So you telling me I was going to say, hey, thanks for hiring me, but let me go on maternity leave? No, I had to sit down, deal with the pain, deal with whatever stress I had around me, and that's why I was pregnant. See, my quota every month was to book about 5 to 6 meetings. I was booking about 10 to 15, and my sales, who I was selling to were CEOs, CVOs, people who made the decisions in those businesses. And that day, I was making my 15th sale. That day changed my life. I was so angry, so distraught when I saw my daughter just, she's in peace because she's sleeping, but I'm over here in agony because I couldn't reach her in time to give her bottle. And that's when I prayed. I didn't know what it was going to look like. Honestly, if I did not experience that, I technically would still be with the company. But God sent me dispatching through my brother and sister. See, my brother had 5 trucks, didn't even care. My sister had owned 2 trucks. I was not focusing on what they were doing. I was winning over here in sales. So when they told me dispatching, I said, let me do my research because I am not the type of person to just jump on into anything. Last thing I jumped into was network marketing, and I learned a valuable lesson. I am not here to convince you. I'm here to show you, and if you don't like it, I'm out. A lot of people, they want to do different things, but you have to do what's your purpose. I was living at home as a stay-at-home mom, working from home, but I did not really have what felt like a home. I had a nonstop business. I was working 24 hours, and I said, this is just not the way. So when I say stay-at-home moms, even second chance individuals, I have a background, and I'm very much shocked that I actually admitted that on camera. But yes, I actually do have a background, and I never once allowed that to stop me from making my money. See, my father, he had a background, and he allowed that to stop him. And I said, not me, not this one. I'm going to be something different. So my second chance individuals, you're looking at someone who took $200 and created a second chance because no one else was going to give it to me. See, I've been there where I had to dust that resume off. Ooh, let me stand in line and wait and wait and wait. And I've been waiting. I thought 3 months was too long. I actually had to wait 11 months one time. And I was like, God, what are you doing? Are we serious here? But it wasn't because of my background. It was because it was just not the right time, and that wasn't where God wanted me to be. See, I was chasing money in different areas, in different lanes, and I realized that, oh my goodness, I'm not following my purpose here. So when God slightly brushed me and said, dispatch, I said, what? Huh? I don't know anything about dispatching. I don't. I took that $200 course. That's what I did within 1 week. 1 week. I signed up 6 carriers. Within 2 weeks, I signed up 12 carriers. Now, within this time frame, I was still working 9 to 5, technically 12 to 9. I will work every day at 12 o'clock, at between 12 and 2 o'clock. And it was very difficult and very tough because you're talking about now, I also had to wake up for an early baby and then be ready for work at 12 o'clock when she goes to sleep. So when she wakes up, I'm technically on the call. I had no life. It looked nice on the outside. My friends thought I was winning. You just got married. You just had a baby. My job, I was making the money, but I had no life because money was okay. But I value time. That's my commodity. That's my greatest asset outside of me. It's my time. And the energy that I pour into my work, if it's not given back to me, I tend to look into something else. And dispatching showed me in the beginning, I have a proven concept when I was able to hire 6 people within 1 week of teaching. Let me say it right. Within 1 week of learning, I hired 6 people. So I must have done something right. Where did I find my drivers? Facebook. I won't gatekeep anything. But I do have a school where I teach everything. So tonight, I'm going to teach you all some stuff. How to get in freight dispatching. 3 things. Phone, freight, and truck. Guess what? They're removing the driver. They're taking that driver out the truck. Guess what you still need? Phone, freight, and truck. How do I get my freight, Cat? No problem. It's only 2 entities. A low board or a direct access to brokers. That's it. Well, Cat, how do I get my trucks? No problem. Facebook. I just told you. So take that and go turn it into a 6-figure income. You can't do it. You can't. You will be stifled. You'll be bottled down with the mundane stuff that you can avoid because of the systems that I've already created. See, one truck can make you up to $4,000 a month. Why? Because if you have that driver make between 8 and 10,000, you charge 10% from that. Guess what you just made? About $800 to $1,000, and you clock that every week because of dispatcher. We get paid every week, or you can structure where you get paid after every load. Is your call, your business, your prerogative. I say that because business builders. There's a lot of people who start trucking companies and they do it wrong, and then they have to come back. And the unfortunate part is they come back with their tail between their legs, and then they also have pride. So it's like, stop, think about what you just did, because you put your credit out there, you put your money out there. So let's do it the correct way. Now, let me tell you a little bit about who I am and what is coming with GL University. See, I built this year 2 of my dispatching business, but I did not start trying to teach it. My carriers were everything to me. I wanted to make sure that their compliance was correct. I wanted to make sure if a broker tried to ghost us, I ran after our money. Baby, you're not getting away from me. Come on. Because I didn't work this hard to get this load, to get all of the additional favors, and then you want to take extra money, or you want to take our money? No, thank you. I went out there and got it for our customers, our clients. They knew it, they saw it, they referred people to us. So this is why with GL University, we have something that's coming to match what's coming in the industry. I created what I call my AI Freight Coach. How about a technology that will do the work for you and teach you at the same time? Why is that necessary? Because right now we're utilizing this model. Learn first, then do. That's cool. But some people learn while they're doing it. And that's cool too. I think, for me, I like the hybrid model. You can learn because life is happening around you. So while life is happening around you, we don't want to bottle down too much information onto you so you don't really grow. No. So I created my own AI Freight Coach. This is your AI dispatcher. Now, when I say this thing is hot, I put everything that I know into this thing. This is not going to... AI-powered matching is going to find the best loads. I've already have certain partnerships with that's coming into place. It's going to be with Amazon, Uber Freight, TQL, unfortunately, RXO, DAT, 123, Truck Stop. This is going to sit on top of those load boards. Why? Because now you get to actually run more than one load board at a time. Do you understand what that means? Because a lot of people, if I may, they are able to run one load board at a time. And I get it because with my setup, I had 4 screens, 25, maybe 15 load boards, even some days 10, trying to get through it. That's a little bit too much. If you've done anything in dispatch, you'll understand that is a lot going on. You want to pull your hair out, honestly. And that's why I created this, because I wanted to make sure that no one else, whoever came in behind me into this lane, I don't want you all to experience the same hardships that I had to experience, the same hiccups that I had to experience. So this right here is going to find the best loads for you. Now, outside of that, it's going to give you the real-time market. Just like the DAT 199 plan is going to give you those live updates right away. Why? Because you want to be able to book fast while still learning. Now, the broker and shipper connections, you will receive instant access to my vetted partners, my vetted brokers and vetted shippers that I've already done business with. So that connection is huge. But the personal AI coach, and that is where we change the game. Because now, not only is it going to book your loads for you and then show you, because it's going to be connected to my truck and household calculator, it's going to show you, hey, remember you said you wanted to make 8,000 this week? So then we're going to have to either eliminate the deadhead or take some more higher paying loads. But more important, it's going to give you the decision maker. Hey, I booked these loads for you because you wanted to hit these this certain amount of numbers, these goals that you have. So I wanted to create something that actually teach while my carriers are trying to grow. See, this is going to help a newbie look like an experienced dispatcher. Why? Because a newbie can actually do more damage than a bad dispatcher. So my AI freight coach is going to make you look hot. Don't worry, it'll book your loads for you. And on top of that, it will tell you why it chose to work with certain brokers and why it chose to pick certain loads. See, this helps you to create more profit by seeing the higher paying loads with the real time market intel, a continuous coaching system that will coach you as you're trying to grow your business. Because guess what? As all of these trucks turn into faceless trucks, all of those drivers are going to come out the truck, and guess what they're going to need to do? Learn how to dispatch, even if they have their own autonomous trucks. My AI freight coach is going to help you do all of that without taking the mental capacity that we're already utilizing right now to learn what is very simple but has a million and one moving pieces. So this is coming soon. Stay with me. You'll learn more about this towards the end. Now, let me tell you who I am. Give you some history on Kat. If my clicker wants to work, like, oh my goodness, come on now. My name is Catherine. I hail from Chicago. Hello, hello, hello. I live in the Carolinas. I am a very fearful, God-fearing woman. I'm private, but I'm sociable. I know how to have fun and all that good stuff. Why am I talking to you? Why am I even relevant? I am a mom who I feel like I chewed my ankle off. Like in the movie Saw, I really feel like that because I was tired of being time broke. It was the time of seeing my daughter fall asleep while I could not get to her. Now, it looked peachy on the outside. Oh, you work from home. You're making almost six figures. But when you don't have the time nor the lifestyle, you start to realize time versus money. If you don't have time, you don't have anything. See, the biggest thing that many people don't understand is when you start to create your own life, when you grow past your 20s and you get into a partnership with someone that you're vowing for the rest of your life, when you decide to bring another person into this world, you realize I just signed up for things that I was not a part of before this, and now my lifestyle has to change. But look at this. Why is that many people lifestyle change, but their money style doesn't change? They still eat the same. They still, socially drink the same. They don't really change their lifestyle. You think your job is conducive to your lifestyle until you actually see what is taking up your lifestyle. So for me, I come from corporate sales. I've been doing sales since I was 9 years young. I could sell anything to anyone, and I was tired of sales. I was. They say you can create your own lifestyle. Yeah, but if you are working for someone, you don't create nothing. You follow their plan no matter what type of person or what type of job you have. I don't care. I took a $200 investment and I poured it into dispatching. Why? Because there was a time where I was making my 15th sale for that month. My quota was 5 or 6. I was on number 15. My daughter was crying. I was on the phone with the CEO. My job had already told me I cannot leave my calls no more. So I was stuck, or at least I felt like I was stuck. And by the time I got to her, she fell asleep. And I just felt horrible. My heart just sunk. Oh my gosh. I can still feel it. I was like, damn, is this really my life? Do I really have to choose between being a successful career woman and motherhood? See, I'm not a stay-at-home mom. I'm a working wife that works from home. There's a difference. A stay-at-home mom, she just watches the kids. See, being that working wife, you're still producing. You're still managing the household. You're still doing all of these things plus bringing in income. So within the first week of that dispatching course, I signed up 6 people. Baby, I was on my knees praying before that. I did. I received my confirmation the night before I was about to get fired. I'm thinking, I'm like, they're not going to fire me. I'm number one. Not to be braggadocious, but I'm saying my numbers were my numbers. But they said to me, hey, Kat, you're not really working 8 hours. You're working 4 hours, and we need to talk. And I'm like, man, what are we going to do? What's the option? I was really pacing, trying to figure it out. When I say God has already made a way while you're trying to figure this out, you will understand that once you go through something, because God is like, look at you. You worried about what? What is fear? False evidence appearing real, and it usually never becomes real. So what I do, I kept working. And how was I working? I will get off of work at 9 o'clock. I will make sure my husband made sure dinner was cooked by the time he got home, or I would cook dinner during the daytime. By the time I got off of work, I put my daughter to sleep, fed her, and now 12 to 2, I ran that business. And then it got to the point where I started working the business between 8 and 12. And then I would go to work from 12 to 4, and then run the business from 4 to 8. So my job noticed that 4 hours of my day was going to something else, even though my numbers were still up. It was going to the new carriers. It was going to the new business that I was trying to create, that I was creating, and I wasn't really aware that how far this was going to go. So by week 3, oh baby, I was on probation. Probation 100%. I was shocked. Wasn't expecting it. And I wasn't sure about this. I'm being honest. I was 3 weeks in. I got a 6-figure income. You thinking I'm about to leave that for something new? Huh? No, thank you. I was greedy. Or at least I want to say that, because I was going to keep working that job. But God, when God says, count on me, he really meant count on me. I'm trying to tell you, Miss Marie, God doesn't play, because God said, I am your provider. Not this job, not your business. It is me. Don't understand. Don't take that for granted. Understand that I provide. See, God gave me those clients, knowing that I didn't know dispatching, knowing that I was still learning dispatching. 3 weeks in, should you have 24 carriers? No. 3 weeks in, was I going to stop having 24 carriers? No, because I was trying to actually replace my income. You see, I was making $5,000 a month, but my commission checks were about 10 to 15. So I said, I got some numbers to make up for. So by the time week 4 came along, that job said, oh baby, you are not working, and you could be bringing in more, and we're paying you this much. See, the job didn't know that the month that I made 15 sales, I made them $1.8 million also. And you telling me a $5,000 check and maybe a $15,000 commission, 20K is enough? After I just poured into your business and helped you make 1.8 million, you better believe I was looking for something different, something that can bring me those numbers, because I wasn't trying to give my time nor energy to a company that wasn't willing to share the wealth with me. So I digress. See, my breakthrough it didn't come through from actually learning how to book the loads. See, that was the simple part. There's DAT, that's the freight, there's the truck. Okay, I put that together. We can go ahead and make this work. My breakthrough came from the operation behind the loads. What happens after you book that freight? How do you keep the communication going intact and professionally when you find out that the broker that you're working with is actually stealing from you? How are you going to be when your shipper's trying to make your driver do work that they didn't pay for? See, these are things that the course did not provide me, but I actually had to learn on my own, along with how to make a driver $10,000 in a week. So if I helped that driver make $10K in a week, I was able to capture $1,000 from that. But guess what? It was off of a $49 claim. So my overhead was $49. My weekly income was $1,000 a month, and that was for one truck. I told you by the end of week 4, I had 24 trucks, which means I was close to $100K a month. Listen to that. As I'm building, I actually took 4 hours each day building, and I turned it into a system where I can generate $1,000 per truck per week, and we had 25 trucks. I immediately said, yo, honey, can you quit your job? He was like, what? I was like, no, seriously, can you quit your job? We have a good problem here. We got carriers. That's your freight. That's your truck. We got the load board. That's your freight. We're the middleman. Let's go get the weight, the money. So the realization is me building Global Logistics University, because I learned that dispatching course, it didn't teach much beyond what type of trucks are out there. There's a lot more that you need to understand to not just be in the game, but to be successful at the game. So this is why I created GL University, because one, I said, if someone wants to get into logistics, hotshot brokerage, where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? Do you know how to find a brokerage firm? Yes, those are everywhere. Do you know how to find a towing company that will teach you? No. Do you know how to find a hotshot company that will teach you how? No. You really don't have the camaraderie of the logistics coming together. So I said, one, how about we get the instructors? So we can offer more than just dispatching. We can actually offer you brokerage information to learn and get your broker's license. Flatbed, power only, Sprinter van. How many people out there who want to get in but don't want to take on a huge risk? No problem. Cable, Marcus, come on, let's go. Sprinter vans are easy. Why? You don't need all that weight. Guess what? Chick-fil-A uses a Sprinter van. Walgreens uses a Sprinter van. Who else? Funeral homes use Sprinter vans. My nephew passed away, unfortunately, 2 years ago. And I was so shocked. The only hospital in freaking Texas did not have a storage to put the body. So you're telling me right after they cut his life, not even an hour, they said, you're going to have to move this body. We said, what are you talking about? You take the body, you put it back there. They said, no, we don't have that type of unit here. We have no storage, so you're going to have to move this body. You can have a morgue come pick it up, or we can have you take this to the Ronald McDonald house, but you're going to have to get this body moved. And I was out actually making the calls for the logistics to get the body moved. And I'm thinking, how asinine and insane is this that I'm calling around to see, hey, do you have a Sprinter van or a hearse to put a body in? I couldn't even really grieve on the fact that my nephew just died. I'm over here with the business paperwork because they then looked at my sister and said, all right, now it's time to get to business. Can you sign off on here? And I'm thinking, wow, this is so impersonable. But I say that because that was a demand for a Sprinter van in that moment. Imagine chiropractors, dialysis, dentists, they have pieces of equipment that is too small to really go in a box truck for the price. So a Sprinter van is just right. So when you have a university that is offering you all of these lanes on top of the content, where not only we're helping you create your business, build the business identity, but we're going to hook you up with the tools too and the systems. Stop it. You winning. You don't even have to tell me. I know you winning because I took my time to grow this because I wanted to make sure that whoever came in logistics after me, they didn't have to spend so much time, that they didn't have to crawl and fight through to get to it. See, one truck can replace your entire income. One truck can easily make you about $48,000 within a year. 2 trucks can make you up to 96, and that's just a single driver. So if you are a driver and if you're not making 30 to 40K on a monthly basis, baby, you're doing something wrong. I can tell you right now, or that dispatcher is doing something wrong. See, your story may be this. You've watched YouTube videos. Let me try and put the pieces together. I call here. You said I call the broker, and then what else? What am I supposed to say? How am I supposed to negotiate the rate? Double brokering, what's that? You watch enough videos. So stop. It's not really putting the pieces together for you. You've taken courses, but guess what? Let me go to Facebook. How can I find a driver? What's the best logo board to use? Wait. How do I get my money back from this broker? They ghosted me. I don't. Stop. Sit down. Get guidance in all things, get understanding, because if you don't know how to get the money, you cannot stand in front of someone and say, hey, let me help you get paid. Does that make any sense? No. You've collected information. Guess what? Your cousin, your uncle, they're not experts. They have, I don't care if they've driven on the road for 20 years. I know what I'm talking about. See, what you learned 20 years ago is not the same information as 2026. Because guess what? In logistics, in this lane, this year, they actually just cut over 200,000 drivers in the month of March. I can't believe it. But I'm not shocked because they were either doing something illegal or they were double broken. You are still missing the framework. That framework is going to help you eat even when the faceless trucks come out. So let's stop playing and let's get to it. So, when it comes to the belief system, workers complete tasks, operators, we build systems because those tasks together in a sequence, in a timely function, it creates your system. So if you have a system that's working, guess what? You can actually do this. I'm going to step out and let me see my system still work. See, that's what a truck driver does. They step out that truck and then watch their system work because that truck is still going to move if they do it right. That truck will move even if they're not in it. So why are my truck drivers still in the trucks after 5 or 6 years? Because depending on your equipment is going to determine your lifestyle. See, if you are in a drive-in or power only, oh baby, you are on the road. Stop it. You should not have a family, but more than likely you have a family, and that's why you do it. If you are a box truck, you want to make money and you wanted to get into something that was quick and easy because you don't really need CDLs. And actually, they're changing the weight on those box trucks because after, I think, 13,000 pounds, maybe 12, they're going to require CDLs. So different pieces of equipment will determine what type of system you have. See, dispatching is not just a position. Now, dispatching is actually an operational responsibility. Once you get past the whole, let me just book the load, is way more that goes to it. And once you understand it, you can actually capitalize and monetize on the system. Now, why does this matter? Let's see. This matters because mechanics hasn't changed. Have you noticed for laundry, no matter what type of fancy laundry machine they come out with, it's still the same thing. Put the clothes in the washer, put them in the dryer, fold them and put them away. Same old, same old. Back in the day, it was let me call the broker, let me write down the rate, let me write down my deadhead, right. Everything was right. Now look at it. Let me call the broker, quick, 2 seconds. What's the rate? I want this. Can you do it? Nope, bye. Quick. This matters because the mechanics hasn't changed, but guess what? They are going to change in the future, though. It's still the same process, even when you take the driver out the truck. Guess what? You're still going to have to call the broker or email them, communicate to your broker to negotiate the rate, to go ahead and release or dispatch your truck, whether there's a driver in that truck or whether it's not. The mechanics are still going to stay the same. The operator has an understanding. They change decisions because decisions can change your outcome. You have to be able to see the fire before it happens. You have to be able to understand what potential risk could take place so you can actually move on to preventative measures. I am here sharing this with you because I want you to win the lifestyle, baby. It's not, see, this isn't about me wanting to make money for me. Nah, I make money. Don't get me wrong, I'm still making money. It's nice. But when I get to make an impact, that does way more than what money could ever do. Because if I get to help you sit down or if I get to help you do what I did with my carriers, and that's hit your goals, I've won. I will never forget one lady in particular. My husband said no. He said she doesn't have the availability. We won't touch her. I was like, what are your goals? And when she told me, she said, I want to retire in 6 months. I am working this job. I can't stand it. I don't have the time. I said, can you find or get a driver? That one that we were going to pass up. Because I convinced my husband to, I said, let's work with her because she came back. See, we talked to her on Friday. We vetted her with our carrier vetting system so we know how to interview. And on Monday, she found a driver. And when I say she was the very first carrier that hit her 10K week with us, and she was the very first carrier to hit about 100K in about 6 months, 6 to 8 months, maybe a little bit less than that. And it was because she listened. Now, she challenged me in some areas, and I was like, hold on, we work together on this because you're paying me. I'm the expert. So I know what I'm talking about. So follow, and I will take you there. And eventually she was able to pick some of my brain, but she followed and we got her there. She got the lifestyle because guess what? She now has a fleet of trucks, not the same trucks. And I like that she did that, because a lot of people, they stick to the same. There's nothing wrong with that, but get different trucks so you can have a variety of different types of money. Because if you know box trucks can be kind of tight, it's like, you really want that? You want flexibility in your spending and even your options. See, we helped her obtain freedom by helping her run her business. We had flexibility with the rate because she trusted us. She understood we were going for the right rates, whether it was big or small. We always came back to the baseline, which is the goals. It gave her financial stability. Imagine you work a job that already pays you, let's say, $65,000 a year. So you bring it home around between $5,000 and maybe $6,000 on a monthly basis. But let's say now, because you have a dispatcher, that dispatcher is actually able to bring your business an additional five to, let me say it correctly, $30,000 to $40,000 on a monthly basis. So if your job is paying you 65 and your business on the side, can you see how she was able to retire within 6 months? Because we helped her hit her goals. She wanted six figures. She hit those six figures in 6 months. Now she does have the lifestyle. She is able to manage her business because we helped her scale. See, she came to us with no driver, one truck, and barely 3 days to work. I said, we can't touch you. No. But when she told me what her goals were, which was retire in 6 months, I said, go get a driver, and then I will convince my husband. After she did that, she listened to me every step of the way. She understood because she was trying to learn from me about the whole double brokering, picking my brain because she saw that, hey, this load was touched. I just got you more money, and she wanted to learn how, and she thought she could do it without me, but she learned she couldn't. It's all good. I forgave her. Now we're going to move on to social proof. She is one of the carriers that I speak about because she was a knucklehead. Man, she was hard to work with. I promise you. But when she listened and when she saw results, it worked out. January, at the top of the year, I'll never forget, because usually January and February are the slowest months in logistics. She listened to me. I took her from Chicago to Nevada to Virginia in 1 week, 3 routes. That's my triangle. I created different systems to be successful, and also additional systems to eliminate the operational deadhead in your operational work. So my triangle system helps the truck to eat for 21 days, while that last weekend, they get to rest. That triangle helps them to eat continuously, and that was the time that she made $10,000 in 1 week, and she was so ecstatic, because it's not just about helping her make 10K. See, we were close, but I had to show her, yeah, we're going to help you hit that number, but how much is going out? Because if you make 10K and you bring home 45, that's not good for me. Those numbers, you have to have a little bit more than 50%. You have to be between 50 and 75%, because if not, I need to look at your numbers, because if I help you hit 10K, but you're only bringing home 3,500, you're wasting too much money. See, we can't scale. See, I'm here not to continue to dispatch you, but to show you how I can take you as a driver, turn you into an employee of your business, to build your business, to operate your business, so you can own your business, so you can eventually dispatch your business. So then when you scale your business, you bring your dispatcher back. See, she was smart. She kept the dispatcher at the entire way. We took her from one truck, and now I think she has about 4 to 6 trucks, and they're different. So when that social proof, it is all about, we don't teach just beyond dispatching. This is how I actually run my entire business. The social proof comes from my carriers and my invoices. Those numbers don't lie, and you can't make stuff up like that. Now we're going to go from 0 to hero if my clicker wants to work. So confusion, don't do too much. Stop with the YouTube, please stop, because that's really going to create more confusion. Clarity, get insight. Why? Because I've already, very like the yellow brick road, I've already paved the path. So you don't have to figure it out, walk over here, fall down. Nah, come on, follow my steps. I wear size 7, don't worry. I'm small, but I can actually carry a lot. And what I carry is going to be the path that I paved, so you can actually do this the right way. No more operational deadhead. How long does it take you to find a load? How long does it take you to update that COI? How long does it take you to actually run your system that you're doing on the back end? That is the operator that you see. that helps you to become a business owner. See, a business owner is not going to start operating now. A business owner is delegating because they have a system and a team. And when you have those two, baby, you're going to win. Now, as I told you guys earlier, let's get to it. This is the secret sauce. I put a lot into this. I'm not sure which system I'm more fond of, this or the others, but my AI freight coach, whew, ha, ha, ha. When I say, I don't want my dispatchers to go away just because of AI. So I created the technology that's going to help you learn while you earn, baby. This right here, everything on this represents your dispatcher and the driver all in one. This is going to sit on top of 7 of my partners that we are already in contract with. Let me say it better. I'm speaking too fast. Amazon, Uber Freight, TQL, RXO, Echo Logistics, DAT, 123, Integrity Logistics, Truck Stop. This will sit on top of the load boards. Why? Because we're no longer just looking at one load board. I wanted to make sure I brought something strong and heavy for you guys. It's going to book your strongest load for the best rate. On top of that, it will extract all of the information from the rate card, send the information to the broker, send the information to the driver. But more importantly, guess what it's going to do? It is going to teach you, hey, let me show you why I booked these 3 loads. Since I created my trucking household calculator, I've actually imported into this so my AI freight coach can know, hey, what are your weekly goals? How much did you make last week? So we can't make the same that we did last week if it wasn't us hitting our numbers. So now if you want to make 10K and it knows that, hey, by Tuesday you are at 38, then whoa, we need to go ahead and switch some things up because we need to either eliminate the deadhead, find better loads, or find some way we can get direct access to our brokers or shippers, because this is going to help coach you as you're building. See, right now we're teaching first and then we're building. But this right here is going to help you build while you learn so you can take it in bite sizes. This is coming soon. I'm very proud of it. And that's why the AI decision engine, it helps you to eliminate the thinking. I don't want you to have to put so much time into the thinking, because dispatching is implementation. Let's move faster. Hey, even if that rate is good, I'm still going to challenge you. Even if that's $2 a mile, I want 4. Let's go ahead. Can we get that? I got credentials. Most of the people who are out here who saying there's no money, how many credentials are behind your MC? How many credentials are behind your business? Do you have a tanker endorsement? No. Okay. Do you have a hazmat? You ate right there. You missing a lot of money if you don't even have the hazmat. Did you take the weekend to get your TWIC card? Did you take the weekend to go get your TSA? See, all of this stuff, it helps to add to what you can bring to the table, which is value. Because, baby, faceless trucks are here. They're here. What are you going to do if they take your position next? You're going to try and be a dispatcher, right? And have faceless trucks so you can dispatch for yourself, right? So don't you think that lingo is going to change? My AI Freight Coach is going to help you understand everything. So your connected ecosystem is going to connect you to the brokers and the shippers where they will be vetted, because my carrier vetting system is already included in this AI. My AI Power Intelligence, this is real time. See, this is going to give you the DAT 199 program, because that's the real time updates. So that right there helps to where you can see the loads faster. But the AI decision engine, see, that's going to be built, that's technically built for my operators, the operators that want to move faster and implement a lot more. You don't have time to scroll through trying to see which load is the best one. Nah. It's going to do all of that for you. But I took it a step further because I actually included my partial finder. Why? Because I had to do all of this my damn self. Do you not understand how difficult it was to have all of this in my head, do it every single load, find a partial? Because even if I have a full truckload, if there was 15 feet, 4 feet, I'm putting something else on the load on that truck. So my partial finder is going to actually see how much more freight is in that space that can go. How much more truck do we have for the freight? That's a game changer. That's a deal breaker. That's going to be different from any other AI dispatcher that they're trying to create, because all of them is about the broker standpoint, but they fail to think about how about the teaching. See, the dispatcher, we see all of that. We are part of all of that. They don't care about the teaching, because if they have it where AI can do all the work for you, then you really don't need. You're not needed. But if AI is teaching you how to be an operator, and AI can work alongside of you while you are still growing not only your business but your customer's business. When I say I put everything into this, oh, I did, because I wanted to make sure that my AI freight coach did exactly what I wanted to do. Coach you, not replace you, because AI is here. Either you're going to grow with it or you're going to get left behind from it. So my systems, along with what I just shared with you, I created a certain amount of systems to be successful in this lane. My standard toolkit that consists of the dispatcher insider secrets and the three shapes of logistics. You need to know the structure. Who pays who? How do they get paid? The flow of actually the money. How do you get the money? How much money? Who should be taking the money? Because it's only four hands in the bucket. So how is it that the customer pays around 3 to 4, maybe even $6 a mile measure, but yet my drivers get less than $1? How? Because too many hands are in the bucket, or someone is taking too much money. So once you understand that, then you can actually be aware of how to know and where to go. Carrier vetting system. This is what I had to pour into, because we were coming across bad drivers. Am I the only one? Has anyone else dealt with a bad driver? Is it only me? We were coming across them, and I said, you know what? We can't do this. The interviews were at least an hour, and then with the truck and household part, they were 2 hours. So you're talking about our Sunday was filled up with interviewing people, but each interview was about 2 hours alone. Because not only do we need to make sure you are the right driver, but we need your numbers. Most drivers don't know their numbers, don't know how much they should make or any of that. We need your numbers, because we need to know what's the top, what's the bottom, so we can actually wiggle in between, so we can make sure we hit your goals. And that's how our drivers knew we were serious. See that carrier vetting system, that includes my ebook. That's the interview blueprint. Know what to look for when you are talking to these drivers. My questionnaire, oh, that's your interview. Know exactly what to ask when it's time to interview. No more lollygagging, no more, oh, you cute, baby. Cute don't get paid. Cute can't find money. Cute can be cute, and that's it. See, the scorecard, it helps you to analyze each decision, so you're actually selecting the right person. The decision matrix, that helps you to see, is this person a risk? What type of risk? Are you low risk? Are you high risk? Are you a severe risk that I should stay away from? My approval sheet. Now that we found the right carrier, guess what we need to do? Make sure all of that information is readily available. So that carrier vetting system comes with all of that plus more. See, I took it a step further, because my truck and household calculator was a part of the questionnaire until I turned it into an actual product. Know your numbers in 5 minutes. Put all your numbers into my calculator. Your overhead for your business, your insurance, your gas, your mileage, all of your deadhead, your dispatcher pay. Now let's go into your household. Pour into your rent, your mortgage, your vehicles, your utilities. Why? Because truck plus business overhead plus household overhead equals net pay. You cannot sit here and tell me you are owner of a business and all you did was deduct your business overhead and think that's your net pay. Your numbers are going to be skewed, in so many words. So I created the truck and household calculator so many people can just plug the information in and get the answers readily available. But I took it a step further, because that calculator gives you an additional advice. So if you are lagging in numbers, it's going to tell you what system of minds that you should actually go to. If you need more resources, it's going to introduce you to my operator's toolkit. And that is a toolkit that consists of all of my resources. Now you're talking about my brokers that I actually vetted and work with, my shippers, my carriers, and my load or mastery list. The list where I had about 15 to 30 load boards. You are going to have access to all of that with my operating system. Now, the infrastructure, that is the branding, the business setup, that's everything. That's what we're doing for the school. My tools, it's kind of like your school books. It's like that calculator back in the day we used to have, that T95 calculator that we don't even need anymore. See, these systems, you cannot actually Google them, but you can vet better, run smarter, scale faster, and even stay connected. So when I say I want you to continue your journey with me, now I'm going to give you the prices. These are my prices that are standard. So if you go on my website, you're going to see these prices: 3, 5, and 10. But today only, and only for today, if you're interested in learning from me, because you actually now see that I know what the hell I'm talking about. We've dispatched over $1 million worth of freight. We've actually recovered 250,000 in double broker loads. We hit six figures within the first year. Helped the carriers do it within 6 months. I say that not to brag, but to let you know I'm qualified to actually help you grow your business and take it to the next level. So if you want to learn from me, but you have a crazy schedule, because trust me, I get it. I'm usually up late also. Come with my self-paced. Why? You can learn everything the right way and even accurate information. You get the entire full course curriculum and my standard toolkit. That's going to consist of my Dispatcher Insider Secrets along with the structure, shapes, and logistics. Get that triangle. See how the triangle can help you eat for 21 days. Trust me, it's not easy, but it's very possible. You receive all of that for a one-time payment of $999. Why? Because I want to make it where you can reach it. I need for it to be obtainable, because this is something that I've poured in over 20,000 hours to build, and even more than that to actually implement it and see it through, to make sure I have the right resources. So when you walk on my foundation, you're not going to fall. When you use my systems, you're not going to fail. I've already proven them. I had to use them myself. If you want to learn from me, go ahead. We're going to meet Tuesdays and Thursdays for an hour and a half. That way you can actually digest this information, because it's a lot. The times are changing and dispatchers are changing. So if you're not an operator, baby, you may get left behind, because AI can dispatch. But an operator, we do a little bit more than that. We reel everything in, and we take the hard part off the client's plates, and we handle it, the communication, the invoices, all of that. You can learn all of this from me with a this is a 90-day course. You will receive a 1-hour live Q&A with 2 days a week training. My bonus with this, you're going to receive the standard toolkit, but also you will receive the entire carrier vetting interview system, so you can actually know how to hire the right driver. Not just any old driver. We want the right ones, because the driver is the captain. This is why they want to take the captain out the ship, because these drivers are doing too much. Y'all are you're TikToking while you're driving, you're talking on the phone, you're smoking, you're drinking, you're not taking it seriously. You actually don't use truck etiquette. You're damaging things, you're damaging products. You're doing a lot for them to say, look, that's why we don't need people in these trucks. When in actuality, this industry was created because a person was doing the heavy lifting. Remember back in the day we had the milkman? Remember the milk who used to go, look what happened to his job. Look what happened to the milkman's job. Don't be that trucker whose job gets taken by something else. Something that can outsmart you. Something that can bring more value than what you bring to the table. If you're interested in the legacy package, this is going to be a one-time fee of $2,499. As I told you, one truck can make you up to $4,000. And that's barely giving 20 hours a week. And I know this because I actually did it. So now with my system, you're talking about I can do it faster, because there were days where I was working 12 to 16-hour days. So it wasn't just 4 hours a week. Maybe if I had less carriers, maybe if I had 1 or 2 carriers. See, we dropped the 25 down to 6, and I wanted to keep it between 6 and 8 because, hey, it's enough for everyone to eat. I don't need to dispatch for everyone. I'm selective anyway. I'm particular anyway. You have to hit the numbers anyway, because I run a tight ship. And if you hit your numbers, I hit my numbers, and we all can win. So that is $2,499. If you're interested in that, you can go to geouniversity.net and sign up. Now, if you are stuck in trying to scale your business, if you can't go past 8 to 10,000 on a monthly basis as a dispatcher, if you are a truck out there, you're not bringing home more than 40K on a monthly basis, or even 30. Baby, my elite package is for you. Why? Because I have the capital and credit funding that you will more than likely need to fund and scale your business. But we're going to come to the table with government contract and assistance, because there's levels to this. Elon Musk, he's about to wipe out the first level, which is hauling freight. There are going to be local jobs, but imagine now if the rates are already challenging, if the rates are already tight. What do you think when the supply drops, but the demand increases? What do you think? It's going to be tighter, it's going to be harder, it's going to be more competitive. So, with the elite, it will help you to branch out beyond the just hauling of the freight, because that's the lowest level. The second level is actually supplying the warehouses. Have you ever heard of Airbnb? Well, guess what? There's Airbnb for logistics. It's called Supply a Warehouse. Supplying a warehouse can actually help you to get to the point where, I'm sorry, my TikTok is doing something right now. Supplying for a warehouse is simple. You don't have to what? Hire maintenance? Nah, you don't have to do any of that. You don't have to what? Hire someone to clean it up? Nope. You just have to keep the lights on and make sure that someone can actually unload and load the truck. That's it. So supplying the warehouses, that's the second level. The third level, which is the most lucrative, that is renting out your equipment. You all spend so much money on this equipment, you can actually rent it out to the government or even to businesses. But most people are not aware of that because they don't know how to operate SAM.gov. They don't know how to get into the government contracts or to even win them. Do you understand one contract can actually rotate for 5 years, where every year same business can actually say, hey, let me rent this out for $60,000 for 3 months. Are you sure you would take that? Yes, we know you would. My elite is going to get you ready with the credit and capital readiness. And let's build your business portfolio. Why? Because a 750 personal score is not access to 100,000. Let me say it again. A 750 credit score is not access to 100,000. You have to have a strong portfolio. Buying a truck, that's smart, but did you buy it with Section 179? So you can actually write it off the next year on your taxes. Many people are not aware of these small tidbits, these small things that can actually save big dollars. So if you're interested in the elite, go ahead. We're going to do 2 live group sessions. You're going to receive the Dispatcher Insider Secrets, the Carrier Vetting System, and you're going to receive my operator's vault. That's all of my brokers, my shippers, my carriers, and that load board mastery. So that is a one-time payment of $3,999. Take your income and replace your income. Because every time you take your time, guess what? You're going to have to keep giving that time. But if you take your income and replace it, you can actually walk away and fire your boss. See, that's what happened to me. That Friday of the last month, it was in June, I'll never forget. I saw my sign Thursday night at Walmart, and I was like, I wasn't really going to walk away. But as my boss was chewing me out, even though I said, am I still number one? And he said, yeah. And I'm thinking, why are we even talking? He's telling me he wants me to go from making 50 calls to 250 calls. And I said, I'm not a robot. I got so angry that I literally said, you know what? I quit. I won't do this anymore. I will send you your equipment back. I shut their computer off and I opened mine because I had a driver out on the road and I wasn't going to fail because he was counting on me, and I never looked back. The only time I went to work afterwards was to learn automations, and that was from Go High Level. And then I took that information and I brought it back to logistics and created my own AI freight coach, created my systems that help things move a lot faster and smoother, because we all have operational deadhead in our business. How long does it take you to complete a task? See, there's a difference in my system and other people's. We do the same thing. Let me say this correctly. We do the same thing. All dispatchers, they find a load, they communicate, and then they make sure the person get paid. Well, why aren't some people hitting six figures? Why is it taking some people to hit their money a lot longer? Why does some people spend 50 hours when some people are spending 25? Are you winning or are you winning? No, you're losing if it takes you 50 hours because that's the same as your job. I don't want to create a new job for you. I want to pull you away from that job so you can see that there's freedom out there that you can control on your time and on your dime. All you have to do is learn the system. So if you learn the system, okay, no one take that from you. That is why my knowledge is backed by proven systems and even real world insight. My tools, they were personally created by me and proven because I had to use them to be successful. My systems, these are plug and play systems. Now you don't have to utilize all that time that used to take you to find a load to do it. Now we're doing this a lot faster and a lot simpler. The infrastructure is the foundation and the resources that built my real business. And that is what I'm bringing to you. See, the objection, you don't need experience because I didn't know anything about dispatching. I knew a lick of dispatching. All I knew was, God, you got me? Okay. I'll make the calls. If I make the calls, hey, I don't know what's going to happen. But after a while, I learned what would happen. And then I started to take control because I didn't want to buy a truck. I wasn't going to put the money in that. See, I feel like I'm a smart person because I like small rewards that I can compound because a small reward is connected to a small risk. A truck is a big risk. I saw how much my carriers was taking. I said, nah, I'm making more than y'all and I'm not doing even half the work. And that's because I had volume, which was a number of trucks, and they had leverage, which was their truck. So you don't need industry connections. For all you people who think, I can't do it. I don't know what to talk about. I don't know how to handle this. I don't know. I'm nervous when I'm on the call. I work at home. My kids are in the background. They're loud. Nope. They don't care. See, any other work from home company, they do care. But here, they don't care. These brokers, they want to know, hey, can your driver pick up? Are they not going to take my freight? Can I trust you? Because I'm talking to you, not the driver. And drivers, understand, brokers, they really don't want to talk to you guys. They want to talk to the person who's going to be able to answer their phone while you're on the road. Most of my drivers think, I'm going to go directly to the broker. Okay, cool. You go directly to the broker, you have leverage. You have one truck. I go to my broker, I have leverage. I have volume. I got 10 trucks. Who do you think they're going to do business with? Me or you? It's going to be me. So, you only need the right framework. That's why I put the time in. That's why I stayed up late. That's why I made the arguments. That's why I fought hard for my carriers. Because I knew one day I will have to teach this. I knew one day if I did teach this that I could actually help save someone some money. Maybe even go get your money because a broker double brokered you or ghosted you or didn't pay you. There are levels to everything and there's a yes or a door for every problem. So, your next step, stop collecting information. Because guess what? YouTube and TikTok, they're going to just cram you with information. What's information without implementation? Jack, stop going to your cousin. They don't know what they're talking about. I'm sorry. Their experience is not your experience. Stop. Go to the experts. Start building. Start understanding. How does this work? Who pays who? How do we get paid? When do we get paid? How can I pay myself? Go to the experts so you can actually stop dispatching and start operating your business. See, every business, no matter what business you're in, you're going to go through the 4 stages of growth. And I had to learn this in network marketing, but I took it a step further than the people who taught me this. Employee is the first stage. That's where you do all the thinking because it's only you. So you sign up for ownership. And because your name is on the paper, you think you are an owner, but you're still the employee of that business. Whether it's a lawyer, doctor, judge, if you have a business, these are your 4 stages of growth. Builder is next. That's when you're not using your thoughts, you're using your feet, you're putting things together, creating systems, trying to see if it works, combing out the kinks. You grow from that and you move into operator. That's where you're using your hands. Now you're managing. Now you're able to manage systems, manage AI, manage a team, manage something besides building. Then you take that and you go to ownership. Ownership is where you can delegate your business from your voice. You don't have to. You're not thinking about the plan anymore. You're not building the plan. You've already done it. You're not trying to manage your plan. You've already put the time in that. So now you are delegating your plan. The same stages of growth. Owner, builder, operator, owner is the same as formula. Figure out your plan. Concentration. See what works. See what doesn't work. And momentum. Implement. Momentum is implementation, because the more you implement, the more people are going to learn from you, learn about you, so you don't have to introduce yourself to anyone. Stability. That's ownership. I don't have to introduce myself because so many people know me. That's what that stage is. That's I delegate with my mouth. You're not going to see me move my hands because I've already put the work in. So now is your turn. Your next step is to learn the knowledge that creates the clarity. Clarity creates confidence. And then once you have confidence, you feel good in taking action. And once you take action, guess what? You're going to get freedom. You are. See, I'm not selling dispatching. I'm using dispatching to sell you freedom. I never knew the freedom that I wanted was in logistics. I was in network marketing. I've done World Ventures. I actually got paid to travel the world. And that was cool. But I also learned if I wanted to do this, I had to convince someone else to get involved. That's not me. Baby, if you don't see that I paid $75 for this VIP trip and you don't want to take that, that's on you. You lost. See, logistics is simple. You have a freight, you have truck. Hey, that's a puzzle piece. We're always going to have freight, whether we have a driver in the truck or not. We're always going to have trucks, whether a person is driving it or not. But guess what? You won't always have your job, because the way Elon Musk is trying to disrupt the pattern, he will soon see that AI can only do so much. So you can try and say, I'm going to feed everyone from a government check, but guess what? You're going to disrupt the pattern. See, the work makes the person get paid, and a person takes the payment and stimulates the economy. So if you take the work away and say, I'm just going to pay you, then there's not too much stimulation, because people don't know when you may shut that check off for them either. See, dispatching gives you freedom and flexibility and even financial stability, because you create your hours, you create your paycheck, and you create who you want to work with. So the decision is yours. See, I've already had to go through this and grow through it at that. I've already had to try and figure this out. So if you're trying to get into the logistics industry, I'm the person who can help you. If you're trying to get out that truck, oh baby, I'm the person who can help you, because more than likely I possibly helped you get in that truck. You can build the life that you've been looking for, and I understand this because I have a sign on my refrigerator. Everywhere we move, anywhere I go, I see that sign, and it's she designed the life that she wanted. See, God gave us dominion. God gave us power. Don't allow your lifestyle take over your life. You get one life. Remember this. You get one life. There's no reset. There's no start over. Once it's over, it's over. And I buried 2 nephews. And I'm shocked because they were young kids. You can't start over. If you and your spouse are not working out, figure out the right system. Or start over in that. But this life, you can't start over. See, it's going to keep going. Whether you move or not. Your bills are going to keep coming. Whether you move or not. The job is going to be demanding whether you move or not. You can build something that allows you to work from anywhere, on your own time, and on your own dime. And I thought that was going to be network marketing. Boy, was I wrong. I thought that was sales. Damn it, I was wrong again. Sales, you can't create your life. You can just design it. And designing it is not the same as creating it. It means I have to work within what I have. So creating it is I'm going to manifest something that may not exist into existence. And that is why I'm here right now. I want to help everyone who wants to get away from that job, because eventually you're going to be forced to walk away and you won't have that same option. So I want to make sure I help you. If you're interested, enroll, go to my website, choose what level you are on, choose the path that you want to take. We go through 3 different stages. That's going to be the fundamentals, the career mastery and the real world execution, because baby, whether that driver's in the truck or not, these trucks will still need to be operated by operators, not just dispatchers. That's why we're going to teach you. You're going to learn and you're going to operate. All the while, this is going to come together to help you have a better lifestyle. The lifestyle where you can actually, hey, Big Bird, go out on a date. Miss Andy, enjoy time with your kids without feeling guilty. Derek, spend time with your lady. Spend time with yourself without having the thought, oh my goodness, I should be making money in my ear. My name is Catherine. It's been a pleasure speaking with all of you. I hope I was able to bring some more value or some value to the table tonight. Join me next week where we're going to go over my carrier vetting interviewing system, because you need to know how to properly hire and the right drivers to hire in your business, because a lot of companies have actually downgraded or even went out of business because of the wrong driver. They can take the freight, they can take your truck, they can take your life, the life that you put so much time into building. My name is Catherine. I'm the founder of Geo University, and it was a pleasure to bring this information to you guys. Join me next week. Also, on my social media accounts, I will definitely continue to share other insights about dispatching, because freight dispatching is the one lane that's like a quiet niche that you can really control without having to have years of learning. You can learn this within a few weeks, within a few months, and be able to operate quickly. Again, it was a pleasure. I hope you guys enjoy your night. See ya.